and thank you for joining. I read this article a few days ago. It was published on MarketWatch. It is an article regarding the 10 electric cars with the longest range. It was done by a KBB editor and really listed from 10 to 1 the cars that has the longest range now available on the market. But they did a little bit more than that, which was very good. They also put price, charging speed, range obviously, and other important components. Most of the information was accurate. A couple of things were inaccurate. I will correct them. But as you know, range, charging speed, and price is really the three most important components. So without further delay, let's start with the number 10 to the 2020 Porsche Taycan, and really a fantastic looking car that came out last year. It's been selling a little bit. But you know, if you look at the price, the starting price is 152,250. It can go up all the way to 200,000. The range, that's the problem of this car. The range is 201 miles. The charging time on a 240 volt is 9 hours. So when they say 9 hours, like from 0 to fully charged, so obviously it's never 0 most of the time. It's a powerful car. It has 670 horsepower, 626 pound-feet of torque. The battery is huge. The battery is large. It's 93.4 kilowatt hours. Should give you at least 320 or 350 miles. But yet you see the design, the aerodynamic, the battery chemistry is not the greatest, and therefore the EPA fuel economy equivalent is only 69 mpg, miles per gallon equivalent. Number 9 is the great Nissan Leaf. It's one of my favorite electric cars. The 2020 Nissan Leaf. This is again base model, base price, 39,125. So the price is good. Still eligible for the full federal tax incentive. So is the Taycan, by the way. 226 miles. Okay, you can get to 240. Again, charging time 11.5 hours. Okay, not that great. Horsepower adequate, 214 horsepower and 250 pound-feet of torque. It's a very quick car. I owned it for 4 years. 62 kilowatt hour lithium ion and 108 miles mpge, which is exponentially better than the Taycan. Moving to number 8, the Jaguar I-Pace. This is a small crossover. It's been around for a couple of years. I saw it in New York Auto Show last year. Starting price 70,875. So in par with cars in that range. The miles, obviously 234 miles range. Not great, but not terrible. Not great, but not terrible. 12 hours, almost 13 hours of charging time. That's a lot. Powerful, 394 horsepower, 512 pound-feet of torque. Very powerful. Again, a huge battery, 90 kilowatt battery, and yet the miles are way low than the 300 miles. And here's why: 76 mpge. Again, it's all aerodynamic, battery technology, and weight, and all these things. Number 7, the 2020 Kia Niro EV, a little tiny crossover. Very pricey, $40,000, 210. Very pricey. That's a very pricey car. 239 miles, not that great. Not that great, but not bad at all. 9.5 hours charging, not too bad. Power, not so much. 201 horsepower and 291 pound-feet of torque on a 64 kilowatt battery. So it's okay. 112 mpge, very good, very efficient. So it's very interesting that the equivalent between the miles and MPG is not that great. This should be like a 260 miles, but it's a bigger car. Next one, it's really a nice car. I drove it several times. The Hyundai Kona, the 2020 Hyundai Kona. A friend of mine has it. Starting price not too bad. It's a small crossover, 38,310, 258 miles. So that's good. Anything above 250, I like it. 9.5 hours charging, not too bad. Not great power, I can tell you that. I drove it. 201 horsepower and 291 pound-feet of torque. 64 kilowatt hour battery. So a kilowatt hour battery, lithium ion battery, but it's good because it's not a big battery per se, but the miles are good, which means it has a great 120 mpge, so it's more efficient. Hyundais do that. The very efficient car. Next one is the veteran, I would call it, the Chevy Bolt, the first 200 plus miles to come to market ever. The Chevy been around for a few years. Price $37,495, not too bad. 259 miles, more than the 238 that they had in the previous model. 10 hours charging, okay. 200 horsepower. It's a very zippy car. I did drive it too. It's a great car. It feels much faster than what you see. 266 pound-feet of torque and a 60 kilowatt lithium battery on 118 mpge. That's great. It's a small car. It's a small car from the outside, but once you're in, it plays big. It's like the old Nissan Leaf. I really like them. And of course, the Model Y, the number 4 Model Y. The big name of Tesla, obviously, for their first crossover. 54,000 starting price, that is true. 316 miles. It says 315 here, but it's 316. 10 hours charging, not too bad, all right. And a 75 kilowatt hour battery. So that's a big battery. It's a big, huge battery. It's like the Model 3 on 121 mpg. So it's a very, very efficient car, even though it's big. It has a great battery size, great range, 300 plus. It's great. On to the number 3, the Tesla Model X long range. Tesla Model X long range, a really interesting car. Almost $90,000 to start. 328 miles. That is fabulous. And a 10 hours charging on a 100 kilowatt hour battery. So the Tesla Model X, guys, this is a big car. It's a huge car. 7-seater, 96 mpg. That's fantastic. That is really fantastic for that car. Number 2, the Tesla Model 3 long range, the one that I have. 50,000 starting price. I mean, yes, for the longer range, that's the starting price on a 330 miles. I would say it's more like 325 or 322 actually. So it's not exactly accurate. On a 10-hour charging time, it is a 75 kilowatt hour lithium battery, just like the Model Y. And the number 1, really, this is incredible, the Tesla Model S long range, and an 81,190, 373, it's really 392, and Elon Musk is saying is probably 400 miles. So it's really almost close to a 400 miles. Again, a 12-hour battery charging, that's long. On 111, look at that, 111 mpge and 100 kilowatt hour battery. It's a heavy car and almost 400 miles. But this is an expensive car. So if I had to pick, like, great value, I mean, Model 3 is a fantastic car. Model Y, it's a great solution with a great cargo space. The Kona is very, very nice. I have to say, the Kona is very nice. Very, very nice car. The Chevy Bolt, also, if you like small cars, driving around the city, it's a fantastic car. But really, if I had to say, pick one, only one, can't pick two, I would pick the Model Y, because it gives you the range, it gives you the cargo space, it gives you all the things that you need to do for small family rides, long range rides. It's really a great car. I ordered it. I'm waiting for it. Okay, guys, thank you all. It was helpful, and I will see you tomorrow.